Everyone, welcome to our BBO challenge. It's the instant challenge matches have been disabled from BBO, but you can still use BBO as much as you want. And in fact, at the end of this lesson, what I'll do is open up the microphones and navigate BBO a little bit more for people so that they can set up games with their friends, or even it's possible to set up Teams matches. I'm still in the process with BBO of trying to set up a weekly duplicate, but they seem to be inundated at the moment with requests, I think. So I haven't given up, and it's something that I'm hoping that we can do. Josie's saying, unfortunately, she can't log into BBO, I assume, Josie. If it's BBO, then I'll show you at the end. We'll have a look. But everyone, welcome to the challenge. So what the aim is today is I'm going to play 8 hands. And on most of the hands, you'll find that the hand that you're looking at or I'm looking at will have a decent amount of values. Hopefully I can get you involved in the decision-making process, etc. There's also a question here. I saw a trump contract on board 16. I led from King Jack to 5. Thought you should not lead away from that sequence. That was the previous week, and we did discuss leading away from King Jack holdings. And it was against a no trump contract, if I'm correct. So leading away from King Jack is absolutely fine against a no trump contract. It's against a trump contract that you may consider, or consider other possibilities. So let's look at this hand. You've got 16 count, looks like a pretty standard 1 no trump opening, so let's not beat around the bush. Here we are. So we're in 1 no trump. And we're playing match points, everyone. You can see that up in the corner here. So it's a standard, like as if you're playing a standard game of duplicate at the bridge club, and match points is the form of scoring. So what do we think about this hand? Okay. Now, West has led a low diamond. We've now got 4 diamond tricks, which is great. Should we aim to try to set up our spades? But if we do that, we're going to have to lose the lead twice to set up 2 tricks, whereas the heart suit might end up being a better option for extra tricks, especially if the 10 of diamonds is an entry and we can lead towards the queen 10 of hearts. That's one possibility. The problem is if we lose a spade and we lose to the hand that can lead through the queen of clubs or towards the king of clubs, then that may cause us some problems here. But I think I'm not going to lose the opportunity of an early entry to dummy, and perhaps the heart suit might be the way to go. So let's try the 10 of diamonds from dummy, see where that leads us. Okay, so we've got our entry to dummy. Okay, now, shall we try a low heart? I think that's what we might do, because I'm a little bit worried that playing spades might give the opposition too many chances. Should North have used Stayman? Well, it's a good question. North's got 8 high card points, haven't they? Should they be using Stayman looking for a fit? Well, my suggestion to you, I said this when we had the lesson about balanced hands, and that because a no trump range used to be 16 to 18, and we used to suggest as teachers that we invite with every hand of 8 points. Now that it's 15 to 17, you should raise the criteria to 9 points to invite opposite a 1 no trump bid, or 8 points with a 5 card suit. Well, this hand just falls short of the 9 high card points required. So that's why the hand passed. And anyway, there's nothing wrong with playing 1 no trump. It looks like a good spot. I think we'll try low heart. Okay. Shall we play east for the king or for the jack? What's the more likely play here? Maybe east might have popped with the king if they had it. So I think we might insert the 10 and see if that gets us any luck. No, lost to the jack. Now, ooh, that's okay. I'm not going to complain about West switching to spades. What do you think? We think we might keep that queen of spades as a possible entry to dummy, everyone. The West has done a lot of work for us here. Okay. Well, now I think we're definitely going to play a low heart towards the queen. And see if we can rely on hearts to break. Let's try the queen either how. Okay, everyone, I can see a squeeze developing here. If the same hand holds four hearts and the king of clubs, and certainly if it's the west hand anyway, we might be able to squeeze them out of that card. So let's see how we go here. There's one club gone. Now, robot's thinking. Unusual for a robot to think. Let's try the ace of clubs and see if that drops the king. Now let's try the jack of spades. Throw the queen of clubs from dummy. Okay, now the king of clubs is still out there. We didn't do so well. We could have cashed the ace of hearts and dropped the king. So 8 tricks is okay. Let's see what result that brought us. 8 tricks, oh, only 28%, not a good result. Let's have a look at the scores there. The tables, what did they do? 180, etc. 150. So I scored almost a bottom hand. We better make up for that after this. If I had cashed the ace of hearts, and the jack would have dropped and then played a low one towards the queen, that would have worked out nicely. Okay, here we go. East is passed. Start with a club. Double from west, 1 heart from partner. 4 plus hearts. Opponent's bid 1 spade. I'm going to compete with 2 clubs here. I bought it in 2 clubs. Interesting. So, king of diamonds. Looks like this is promising the ace. This hand has some good prospects, I think. Play low. All East could contribute was the 9 of spades. So that means that West is currently marked with the ace king of diamonds for their lead. They're also marked with the king jack of spades as well. Now, I could play a diamond towards the queen here and perhaps take a discard. And that means I'm left with at least 2 clubs in dummy in order to take finesses with, which may not be a bad idea. So I think I might try to do that. I might lead a diamond towards the queen, and perhaps East will have to follow to the 3rd diamond, on which I can discard the queen of spades. And then I've still got 2 entries in dummy. Any alternative thoughts? Play a heart towards the king. What's West going to continue? They might then continue hearts. That might be a good way to go. Perhaps they might. It's not a question of setting up the hearts, Jane. It's more along the lines of, Jane's asking a question here about the hearts, more along the lines of making sure that I don't, I can pick up the king of clubs if it's 3 times in the East hand. So I'd rather do that than trump a spade in dummy, because that may end up causing me some problems on the, let's lead a diamond, ace. Another diamond. Oh, what do you think, everyone? Should we try to, if we finesse this, we might be able to get away with discard both of our hearts. But I think the queen's a better card here, because at least then I can discard a spade. I think that's what we'll do. We'll play the queen. Ah, yes. If I discard a heart here, and then simply play the 10 of diamonds. East has to trump that, which I can over trump. Trump a spade back in dummy. It's not going to do me any good, is it? So how about I just simply discard a spade here and play the jack of clubs. Yeah. Let's try the queen of clubs. Good. Okay, all good. Draw the last trump. And then we'll give up a heart to the ace. Yeah. Okay, we can claim the rest of the tricks. So that's 10 tricks. How does that go? Oh, an improvement. Oh, we picked up all the way to 53%. Goodness. Something strange is going on there. No, it's a 78% board. Very interesting. Let's look at what they did at the other tables on that hand. A number of people did the same thing we did, but then some other people only took 9 tricks. Well, some people took 8. Ooh. Okay. 6 points, 10, 15. Do we think this is worthy of opening one no trump? Any thoughts on that? For people who are aficionados of the banzai point count, this would be 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Just good enough. Thanks, Jane. 22. So if people follow banzai, and we will actually have a lesson on that because it's a fascinating subject. It's a way of evaluating your cards that when your hand is balanced as to whether it fits in with an idea that lower honors such as 10s and jacks and queens don't quite have enough weighting compared to aces and kings for no trump hands. And we find that when we have balanced hands that 10s and jacks and queens often pull their own weight. The more honors you have on a hand, the better chance you have of being able to gain tricks or stop the opponents from getting tricks. Do you remember, a lot of you may remember the saying back in the early days of when you learned to play bridge, people speak about aces and spaces. When you picked up a hand of 16 points with 4 aces and that was only 4 tricks and you sat there and you thought, not such a good hand. Well, banzai is a wonderful area of the game and we'll have a look at it. But in the meantime, I'm good enough either way to open one no trump. Partners use Stamen this time. What type of Stamen? Just simple. So I bid 2 diamonds. And partner invites to game. And I've got an absolute minimum, so I'm going to pass. And I'm glad I passed. Boy, oh boy. See, partner decided to invite here with 8 points, but they had a 5-card suit. That's why they invited. Okay, the 5 of spades. Does that tell me anything? Well, I'm missing the 4, 3, and 2, so I reckon that's from almost certainly from a 5-card suit. Could be from a 6-card suit. I've got to be pretty careful on this hand. Should I duck the first lead? Any thoughts? I think I might win the ace because if the ace of diamonds is sitting in the west hand, they may find it difficult to continue another spade. So that's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to play the ace of diamonds next, ace of spades, and then play the king of diamonds next. That's good. West might not play the queen of spades now because they worry. Yep, thought that might happen. Okay. That's a scary play. I don't think it's a very risky play from West if they had jack and another. So almost certain that West doesn't hold jack and another diamond. So here I'm going to play the queen of diamonds. Yep. Oh, West. You got me. Well, now I'm going to set up a diamond. Why not? Set up my extra diamonds. He's played the jack of clubs. Jack of clubs. I don't think he's played the jack of clubs. Not sure about that, Anna. And, oh, he's played the jack of diamonds. I didn't see that. My goodness. I'm clearly looking at too many questions to notice all these cards. Well, this is quite good then. So what do we do now? Do we play, the diamonds are all high, the jack of diamonds fell. Serves me not to look. So what do we do here? Do we play now a club? Or do we play all of the diamonds and give West a bit of a hard time on discards? So East's been discarding hearts madly, as you can tell, everyone. So if East's discarding hearts madly, I think there's probably a good chance that East has 5 hearts. Should and maybe the king of clubs. Christine, you're going to play hearts? I think the clubs might give us a better chance for extra tricks. Maybe queen of clubs here, I think. See if we can gain 2 club tricks with the king on side. Okay, we've got our 2 club tricks. That's good. We play some diamonds now. We might be able to throw West in later on with the spades. Let's cash some diamonds and discard. Let's discard this hearts. That's 3 hearts have been discarded. 4 hearts have been discarded. That's a lot of hearts. Someone's going to get end played on this hand, everyone, I think. The problem is I'm hoping West doesn't have 4, 5 more spade winners. How many tricks have I got left? So this will be our 6th, the ace of hearts is our 7th, and the ace of clubs is our 8th. So let's just discard a heart for the present moment. So West has thrown away one of their spades. That's interesting. What do you think? We might try to end play West? I think that might be a good idea here. So let's play a spade. Jack of hearts. Well, that's turned out well. Now when we play a heart to the ace, the long spade was over there. Now we play a low club. Okay, 9 tricks in the end. That's probably a pretty good result, I'm hoping. Doesn't look too special. Oh yes, it is. It's a good result. It's a very interesting hand because eventually when we did set up the diamonds and when I noticed that the jack of diamonds had dropped because one of the my viewers told me, West actually eventually had some difficulty discarding, and they were probably going to be end played, and that's exactly what did happen. They were end played. Okay, let's keep going. Pass, pass, pass. To me, this is a good hand. 6 and 8 is 14 and 2 is 17. Is that right? 6, 8, 14, 17. Let's try Banzai again. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. It's a maximum 1 no trump opening, so that's what we're going to do. Seems to be the flavor of the month here. Okay, so I'm going to make a super accept, everyone, because I've got a maximum hand with 5 card support. And it's saying 2 to 4 clubs. Okay, so I'm betting 3 spades. And partner raised to game. That's good. Everyone, if you're wondering what a super accept is about, is that when partner transfers, they're actually not promising you any high card points. But if you have 4 card support for the suit that partner's transferring to, it means that you have a 9 card trump fit. So even if partner doesn't have many points, you should be safe enough at the 3 level with a 9 card trump fit to either, if you go down, you're going down less than what the opponents make. But at the same time, it sends a message to partner, in case you've got that borderline hand, and partner does have that borderline hand. If they transfer, they're probably going to bid again on this hand, but even with 1 point less, they might find this hand a little trickier to bid. So I'm glad that I super accept, because we've gotten to what looks like a pretty good game contract. King of Hearts, well, that king promises ace king. They have a leading structure where they lead the king from ace king or king queen. So I'm going to follow up with the 2, with the 7. 8 of clubs. I'm definitely going to keep that queen of clubs as an entry for later. So what should we be aiming to do here, everyone? Should we be aiming to win in hand and start trumping some of those heart losers in dummy? We might be able to rough 3 hearts in dummy. And if we don't do that, we might be stuck with the diamond suit. So what are your thoughts? Win the first heart in hand, first club in hand, trump a heart in dummy, and then maybe lead a diamond from dummy and play east for the ace. I think that might be a good hand. East, James Chess, but the east hand is wide draw trumps. Well, the problem with drawing trumps on this hand is that we might be actually able to take an extra diamond rough in hand if we play for the ace of diamonds to be on side. That might be enough for us. Take 2 trump roughs in hand, but then that relies on trumps to be 2-2. I think we'll win the first club in our hand with the king, and we'll play a low heart and see where that leads us. Okay, now let's try the jack of diamonds from dummy. Yeah, East has got the ace of diamonds, as expected. Another diamond. Oh, that's interesting. The queen's dropped. Well, that's easy. Now we've got the winning 10-9 of diamonds in dummy, so we'll simply draw trumps from here, everyone. So a low spade to the king. And you notice I played a spade. Ah, perfect. So this is a perfect example of what we call a safety play, everyone. If one hand held jack to 4 spades, I'm able to finesse against either one of those hands by playing one of the top honors where the 2 of them are situated. So the king and queen of spades was here, and that's why I decided to play the king from dummy in case there was jack to 4 spades on either side. Well, it's turned out that West holds jack to 4, so now that's worked out perfectly. I now play a low spade across to my ace, and then I finesse the jack of spades in the west hand, cash the queen of spades, and now the 10 and the 9 of diamonds take care of my 2 losing hearts. Now I can play ace of clubs. Okay. Did East help me by playing the ace of diamonds? They did, but I was always going to play the king of diamonds on this hand. As it turned out that West had already shown up with the ace king of hearts. And I think there was every chance, therefore, that they probably didn't hold the ace of diamonds as well. When you have those situations and neither opponent has bid, it's not a bad idea to start adding the points up and trying to, and we'll do a bit more of this in our lesson this week about declare play. If you start adding the high card points up, often you can tell where there's a missing honor. And that's why I thought, well, if West has turned up with ace king of hearts, I think it's highly likely that they don't also hold the ace of diamonds. So even though I played the jack of diamonds from dummy, making East think I was finessing, I was always going to rise with the king of diamonds. Okay, so here we are again. Pass, pass from partner. Well, I've got a unbalanced hand here, 11, 15, 16. That looks like a one club opening. Partner's a bit of spade. And for those who followed my lesson on reverses, this hand is good enough to reverse. 16 high card points, a 5-4 shape. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to bid 2 hearts, and that shows 5 clubs and at least 4 hearts and 16 plus points. Well, partner's bid 2 no trump. Any artificial 2 no trump, any weak hand. Okay, it's a weak hand. Okay, I think it's probably suggesting that we bid 3 clubs here. I think that's what I'll do. And partner will pass. Good, so we didn't get too high on this hand, everyone. Partner's likely to be pretty weak, and they are. They've got 5 points. Good hand. This is a perfect example of not getting too high on the cards. Okay, Queen of Hearts lead. Let's look at the possibilities on this hand. I'd love to be able to draw trumps, but if I draw all of the trumps, I'm going to be left with a delicate situation of having to trump 2 hearts in dummy. And these trump spots in dummy are pretty low. We're missing the 9, the 8, the king, and the 9, 8, king, and 3. I still think I'm going to win in hand and finesse in trumps. King. I think I'm going to play the Queen of Clubs here. The 3's gone. This is the day of trumps not breaking. Okay, well, that's okay. I think this is actually quite good news because it means that I can now use both of those baby clubs in dummy to trump 2 hearts. So this is actually going to work out quite well. Cash the ace of trumps and simply give up the king of trumps at the end and probably a couple of diamond tricks. Should we try to develop a diamond trick along the way? That might be dangerous, I think. I think I'm going to win the ace of hearts. And play another heart. And trump with a baby club. Now, if I play a diamond and West wins, they may play a trump, and that would be bad news for me because it means that I would have to no, I wouldn't have to duck it in dummy. I could actually win the ace and trump one later, but I think I'm going to simply play a spade from dummy. Now I'm going to trump my last heart. Take the ace of clubs. West has 2 left. I think the best play for me here might be to trump a spade low and gain 2 trump tricks that way. If I play a diamond, what might happen is I might end up losing 3 diamonds and what they call a trump promotion, and that would be very embarrassing. So I think I'm going to play a low spade here. Trump it low, and then simply give up the club. might play the queen of diamonds now and try to pin the jack. Yeah. But I've got too many tricks for defense now. Okay, 9 tricks. Hopefully an okay result, I think, because we went too high. Yeah, it's ended up being quite a decent result. 64%. Let's have a look to see what happened at the other tables on that hand. Some people played 1 no trump and made 9 tricks. Interesting. Someone made 10 tricks in clubs. Someone made 8 tricks in no trumps. And then a few of us made 9 tricks. And a lot of people got overboard. 3 no trump going down. Yeah, not a great surprise. Okay. Hand number 6. East has passed and we're at favorable vulnerability, but I've got a pretty normal 1 diamond opening, so that's what I'm going to do. Partner bids a heart. Now, the choices are here, everyone, to either repeat my 6-card diamond suit or to bid 2 clubs. Now, many, many years ago, a very, very wise soul I played bridge with suggested to me that if you bid your 2nd suit, partner now knows about 9 of the 13 cards in your hand. Because if I bid 2 clubs here, partner knows I've got 5 diamonds and 4 clubs. Whereas if I repeat 2 diamonds, partner only knows about 6 cards in my hand. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the most descriptive bid I can, and that of 2 clubs, and partner ups and bids 3 no trump. Okay, I'm happy with that. No reason to dislodge 3 no trump. And now what happens, everyone, is that you become declarer from the other side. Okay. So I think obviously we're going to go after the diamond suit, because if diamonds are 3-2, or if there's a singleton queen or jack, then we can easily take 5 diamond tricks. Ace, king, queen of hearts, that's 8. 2 spade tricks, that's 10, and the ace of clubs, which is 11. So that seems to be the obvious line of play. Now, how should I attack this diamond? Should I finesse twice against... Colleen just asked me again, why did you repeat the clubs in the previous hand and not stay in no trumps? Because on the previous hand, partner's 2 no trump bid was actually not suggesting any stopper in the young bid suit. It was actually an artificial bid saying they had a very weak hand. That's not a bad system to play over reverse bids, and it's what's referred to as blackout. So all of the poor hands go via 2 no trump. It's not something that I wanted to teach people at the start. I'd much rather people understand the basics of reverse bidding before they necessarily get into anything more intricate with reverse bids. So yeah, it's referred to as blackout. Okay, here we go. Let's have a look at this. So if I was to finesse twice in diamonds, I could lose potentially to both the queen jack of diamonds sitting in the west hand. And because I've got a 6-2 fit, that could be a poor play as well, because if I lose to a singleton honor in the west hand, I then can't pick up, or I can actually pick up the queen to 4 in the other hand. So maybe that's what I should be doing. I should be finessing twice in diamonds. But we've got communication issues here, everyone. Can you see that? That ace of clubs is vital for the north hand, and the ace of hearts is also vital for the south hand. So if that's the case, then it might be a good idea for me to win this in the north hand with the queen, and then to run the 10 of diamonds. Not intending to run it twice. So I think I might do that. I might overtake this. I might leave the 10 of diamonds from the north hand. Well, that's not bad. Which cards are missing? What is East covered from? Have they covered from Queen Jack? We're actually missing the 4, and we're missing the 5 as well. We're missing the Queen, 5, and 4. And West has played the 7. So East is covered from some sort of holding. It looks like they probably don't have the singleton Jack. Either way, I'm going to assume that they're going to play. Spades at their next opportunity here. So East did have Queen Jack of diamonds. I could have gone to hand. And this is turning out quite well. Now, everyone, I play a low heart to the ace. I play my 3 winning diamonds, discarding those 3 baby cards in dummy. Now I play a club to dummy. And we claim. So that was actually it's sort of a tricky hand because there was a lot of blockages in the suits. I'd like to pop that hand back up again. Not so easy to see. It's in the corner of the screen here, but you can see what the problem was the ace of hearts was singleton. And whilst I wanted to set up the diamond suit, I couldn't afford to have the ace of hearts go too early. But then I needed at some point to unblock the hearts to get back to the king queen. It seemed pretty certain though on this hand that the defense were going to continue to play spades. They might have made things a bit more difficult for me if they played clubs, but the problem was that East was the one who got in with the diamonds, so they couldn't attack the clubs because they held the king of clubs themselves. So it turned out to be a difficult hand, just as difficult hand to defend as it did to declare. And that's an interesting thing about when it comes to being a declarer. Often you should, when you look at a hand, you should often think, okay, this might be difficult. But remember, it's also probably more difficult for the defenders on more hands than it is for a declarer. So don't ever give up when it comes to being a declarer, and nor as a defender either, for that matter. So here we go. This is a great hand. How many losers do I have? Well, I've got two in hearts and 1 in clubs. I've got a 4 loser hand. Do I run the risk of opening up with a 2 club game force? Well, how many quick tricks? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm always wary about opening 2 clubs on hands where I have 2 suits with at least 5 cards, because it's very difficult to show that shape. I think I'm going to open 1 of the suit and run the risk that partner will respond. After all, I've only got 17 points. 2 clubs, 2 spades, pass. Well, we could be making anything on this hand. But for the fact that partner's only got 3 cards for spade support makes me concerned that slam is probably not going to happen. Even if I did make a long suit trial bid in hearts, I'm not convinced, even if partner bids 4 spades, that they're going to have the right heart holding for me and enough trumps to cover any losing hearts that I've got. So I think I'm going to take the low road here and simply bid 4 spades. Wow. Wow. Partner's got 4 hearts. Well, this is obviously looking like may not be a singleton, but either way, it doesn't matter. They're going to have to put in honor. I'm winning the ace. They're the ace of spades. I'm hoping the jack might drop here, everyone, because if it does, then I've got an entry with the 10 of spades to throw my club away. No, no such luck. Well, I'll draw the 3rd round of trumps. maybe play the 9 of hearts and see what happens in the hearts. I'm not going to take the ace of diamonds yet because I'll then make the layout of the suit obvious. So I'm going to play the 9 of hearts. East lets that win. Interesting. So I play another low heart here. East still may play the wrong suit back. And that's what I'm hoping. Yep, they did. I didn't expose that ace of diamonds too early. And now I've got an entry to dummy, the jack of hearts. I cash the king of diamonds. East was a bit silly. And now I can trump my card back to hand. And these 3 cards are all winners, the highest heart. So very interesting hand not to cash the ace of diamonds too early and make things too obvious for the defenders. Because East, even though West did overcall 2 clubs, and I'm pretty certain that East should have watched West's discards saying, please play a club partner. But East obviously decided not to pay too much attention. Okay, pass, 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 around to me in 4th seat. Who's heard of the Pearson's rule? Well, the Pearson's rule is a rule where in 4th seat, if you're wondering whether you should or should not open the bidding, you count the number of high card points you have to the number of spades you have, and if it equals or exceeds 15, then your hand is deemed worthy of a 1-level opening bid. So for example, if you've got 11 points and 4 spades, then you should, that's 11 plus 4 is 15. Well, here I've got 11 points and 5 spades. Now they're pathetic spades, but that's good enough to open. Now, why spades? Because spades are the boss suit. And if you're ever going to outbid an opponent at the same level, spades will always win. So that's what our aim is here. We're going to start with a 1 spade opening bid. Pearson's rule, partner bid a no trump. I'm now going to bid 2 hearts. Interesting, I'm bidding my suits where I've got no high card points. And partners decided to get excited and bid 4 hearts. My goodness, what am I going to be faced with? Partner's exuberance. We were looking quite good, partner. We were running, whoa, not a bad dummy. Thank you, partner. Like I said, you make wonderful decisions, partner. I've always thought your game was perfect. Now, why did West lead the ace of trumps? Interesting. I'm going to play low here because there's no purpose in wasting the jack just now. Okay. I think we need to set up our spades, everyone. So let's try a spade towards the king. But the problem here is we don't quite know where the ace of spades is just yet. West has got the ace of hearts. And we obviously know that East holds some diamond honors, either the king or the queen or both. I'm not yet sure about where the ace of spades is. I could play a spade and play East for the ace of spades because I can voice my great friend Peter Newman. I can hear his voice in my ear saying, always play for split aces. If there's an ace on one side, if there's 2 aces missing, the other ace is probably on the other side. So let's play a low spade. They play low, so I'm going to do a Peter Newman here and play the jack. Aha! Peter, I'll give him a call after this. Say congratulations, Peter. Your dictum of split aces wins again. So I can trump in. Okay. So now we need to start getting back and forth between the hands here a bit because we want to set up our long spade here in hand whilst we still have the entries to trump cards in our hand. So I think we'll do that. We'll play a low spade to the king. The queen drops, so or maybe West might be. We need to get back to our hand twice. I can take one diamond drop, yes, and then I think I'm going to take a top trump here first, everyone, because then I'll have sufficient entries. Now I'm going to play the jack of diamonds. Trump that here. I'm going to play another spade here. Well, if they over-trump, they over-trump. What can I do? Nothing I can do about it. Oh, that's great news. Queen of hearts. So spades are broken. Taking out the jack. Club to our hand. And the winning spades. And I've even got an excess winner here, everyone. Okay, that was a handy result. 11 tricks. Okay, that was an interesting set of hands. I mean, luckily we recovered from our terrible start, but we ended up getting 77%. That's a nice little effort. Okay, everyone. Thanks, Josie. After 27% on the first board, I think that 77 certainly worked out well. What I'm going to do now is open up the microphones and give people a little bit of a, if anyone wants to ask something about one of the hands, we will, but also give people a bit of more of a navigation around BBO if you want to set up some of your own matches. So I'll just turn off the recording here, everyone. Thank you for today, and